Alright, here we go. We are ready to paint. I went over this with a red Scotch-Brite. Reading the House of Kolor tech sheet is a little unclear because they call for 280 grit under their base coats. And they don't really say what to do when you're doing one of these colored base coat things because they assume you put one of their base coats under it. So, anyway, I hit it with the red Scotch-Brite and it looked a little too scratchy to me, so I went over it with a gray Scotch-Brite. Try and clean it up a little bit. There's a couple of places on here where I broke through. That big run that was in here was actually in the primer. That's why I didn't notice it. And so when I sanded it, it was sanding into primer. So there's a couple of little white spots like that poking out. The color I'm putting on has got that galaxy gray base in it, so it's pretty dark. If you remember the color cards, between the color and the black and the silver base, you couldn't really tell the difference much. So I'm hoping those will be masked and you won't be able to see them. There was just a couple of little places where the tape pulled back since yesterday. Let me see, that one there might be a little wonky. Maybe not. But overall it held up since yesterday, not really any pullback on the tape, so I think I'm okay. So I'm going to go ahead and shoot it. I'm going to put a dust coat on first of the House of Kolor Brass. Just a nice light dust coat to try and seal up all the tape edges. Then I'll go putting 3 coats on top of that. Medium coats, I'm not going to go too heavy. And then when that's done, I'll put a dust coat of clear on there. A little heavier than a dust coat, but a pretty light coat of clear. And then a good wet coat of clear on top of that. And that'll be it. Because I don't, thanks Matt for that suggestion. I don't want to have too much build up here when I go to pull all this tape off. So I know a few of you have commented that this would have been better to do the brass color first, because then I would have just been masking this stuff. Yes, I agree. As I've said in the comments, we wanted these things black for sure. The brass was kind of an iffy thing. We didn't know if we were going to do it or not. So I thought it would be better to spray the black first, since we're going to have to do black anyway. In retrospect, it would have been better to do it the other way. But such is life. Although I'm not sure how well the fine line tape would be able to do a radius like that. It's okay here because I'm on the inside of the turn. But going around the top, there's some pretty tight corners you'd have to go around here everywhere. Maybe it would have been okay. I don't know. I don't have a lot of experience with the fine line tape, so I'm going to check everything one more time before I shoot it with the paint, but it's ready to go. Well, well. How do you like that? Boy, that looks awesome. I can't believe how good that turned out. I'm out of daylight here, so try and give you a little shot of the bronze. Again, this is actually a brass color, but I'm calling it bronze. I don't see any bleed through anywhere. Doesn't mean there isn't any there, I just haven't found it. I had two places where I was unmasking it where I dropped something into the clear. It's still pretty tacky. I let it sit for an hour, but it's still a little tacky. But boy, it looks good. Man, that's just sweet. Very nice. I'm going to get it back in the garage here before a bunch of dust blows in it, but I just wanted to show you the finished product there. Thanks to everybody for all your comments and pointers. It all was really helpful. Best tip of the day, I think, was from Sprayway Customs, who had the idea of when you're running the tape around to leave something to grab onto. And I did that in these places where the tape came back around itself. I ran the overlap, then I pulled the tape a little further and backed it on itself, so I had something to grab onto. And inside these little areas here I had something to grab onto. And oh boy, that was helpful, because there's one place where it was really hard to get and I had to use an X-Acto knife to dig it out, and that was a little scary. But everywhere else it worked perfectly. Just grab the little corner and off it goes. Anyway, I think I'll call that success. I'll take this over to my friend tomorrow. He can take a look at it and see if he likes it. If so, then I have 3 more of these to do. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with that result. So, thanks everybody. Take it easy.